Remember when Vince McMahon was a gigolo? I do. That's uh that's one of the advantages of having your own company is you can make yourself a sex symbol and nobody will ever question it. That is the topic for this evening. Vince McMahon, the Lothario that he is, literally made it up to where like every woman in the company wanted him. And oh my god, he did this when he was doing his evil McMahon character. They had kind of taken a break from him feuding with Steve Austin. It needed a break. It needed time to cool off. So I can't really remember how it started. Kind of set myself up here. Okay, I know that they brought all the McMahons into wrestling for, I think it was WrestleMania 2000, where there was going to be a McMahon in every corner for the main event, which really was a bad idea. I don't. Number one, I don't like fatal four ways because it's too much. They did it actually a better way. They at least had it in an elimination style. I don't like fatal four ways where one pinfall wins the whole thing. So there was who was it? It was The Rock with Linda McMahon. Or no, Linda McMahon had Mick Foley. The Rock had Vince McMahon because Vince had become a good guy. Stephanie was with Triple H, and Shane McMahon was with Big Show. So they had this big match. And eventually, I think Vince turned on The Rock, and they went from there. But somewhere along the line, Vince and Linda were cutting a promo, and now Icky is probably in the way, but they cut a promo to... Icky, get down. This cat's a pain in my ass tonight. They cut a promo to where... Again, I don't really know the specifics, but Vince eventually just said... He looked at Linda and said, "Read my lips, I want a divorce!" You know, just the way he says it. He's like, "I want a divorce!" And of course, Linda ran away crying, and I think that was the one where he's like, "You get out! And damn it, don't you come back!" I love it when Vince McMahon says, "Damn it." He's like, "Damn it, I'm Vince McMahon! Get out! Don't you come back, damn it!" And that's when, again, I can't pinpoint when it happened or how it happened, but Vince became just this uber slut, is the best way I can describe it. He hooked up, I remember, with Trish Stratus. And they did a really big promo with this. Trish would become basically his I don't even know what you would call it. I was going to say sugar mama, but she doesn't even come close to the amount of money he makes. But anyway, they did something where I think Linda had a nervous breakdown because of the whole divorce thing. Like Vince was literally divorcing. Now, I had heard beforehand that Vince, a long time ago, had actually had a fling with someone. Maybe not somebody who's wrestling or somebody who was working with the company, but I had heard that he was unfaithful, and that kind of really was the start of everything. I don't think it was recent, well, back during that time, but that's what I heard. But, so, Linda has a mental breakdown, a complete breakdown, because her husband demanded a divorce, and she is just distraught. You know, I can't live my life without you, Vince. Yeah, she totally goes Tommy Wiseau. She's like, everybody betrayed me. I fed up with this world. I show them. I have a nervous breakdown. I show them all. Love the room. Anyway, this is where Vince starts messing around with Trish. And they do it to a point where Linda is in the hospital. She's on medication for her breakdown. So it basically puts her in a comatose state. And if you've ever heard Linda McMahon talk, you know that's not much, because Linda McMahon, I thought Stephanie was a bad actor. Linda literally is reading a cue card. She does not emote for anything. The time where Vince and Shane did the whole well, I can't talk about that. That's going to be something for later. But basically, they do, Vince and Shane do something stupid, and Linda's like, well, Vince, let me tell you something. I have talked to the board of directors, and they are not happy with you, and I am reading a cue card, and I am a robot from the future. I will assassinate all of you. I am to terminate Sarah Connor. Just really bad acting. So she's literally sitting just straight up like this, just stone face, total stone face. And Vince is all like pawing over Trish Stratus, and it's really skeezy and slimy. It's just, Trish has to have been paid a lot of money for that one. To have Vince McMahon just paw over, it's disgusting. Because, I mean, it's not just like tepid little things too. They're full on making out in front of Linda McMahon. I mean, like, tongue in mouth, just flat out making out with this woman right in front of his wife. You talk about you talk balls, really. If I was ever get into acting or anything like that, I would not want my wife to be there when I'm doing something like that, because it just makes you feel weird. It's nerve-wracking almost. But I guess that's the business. I don't know. They would do, like, they shot one in the hospital where she was staying, and then they wheeled her out onto the stage on Raw and did it live for everybody to see. It's just really disgusting. I think even Shane and Stephanie were even saying, like, Dad, you're a fucking freak. You need to stop doing this shit. Even like Stephanie and Trish got in some fights over it. Like, they had some match. I guess they were all right. Trish is one of those girls. Trish Stratus is one of those girls that got better over time. I very rarely say that about some of the divas in wrestling nowadays, but she's one that did not start off well at all. But by the time she officially retired, she was one of the best wrestlers ever. What else did happen? This culminated in a match at WrestleMania. I believe it was Vince against Shane McMahon. Like, Shane had enough. Like, Dad, you're making out with this chick right in front of my mother, and she's half your. That's fucking enough. We are done with this shit. So they have a match at WrestleMania. It's actually one of the better matches at WrestleMania. I think it had to have been Shane. I just know there was, I forget the one WrestleMania where it was Vince against I think that was, shit. I'm dating myself. Sorry. It doesn't matter. I'm guessing it was Shane. And they have the match. It's actually a really good match. I'm not sure if it's the exact one, but I know that they had a match and it was really good. But during the match, hell, Vince even had a match with Stephanie. Could you believe it? Like, he beat the shit out of her. But Trish wheels Linda down to the ring, and of course Linda is in her comatose state. She's just stone face. And Vince, of course, he goes out there and he's all like, "Hey, yeah, oh yeah, I'm banging this hottie right here. Yeah, she gives it to me good. I give it to her. Awesome." And suddenly, Linda just stands up like she's frickin' Frankenstein. And Vince, of course, does the patent, and he's smiling, and all of a sudden he's like, oh dear, oh my, she's alive. This won't do at all. And I think Linda just flat out kicks McMahon in the sack. Just right in the daddy bags. And I think Shane ends up winning it anyway. But the next night, of course, Vince is going to completely kiss Linda's ass. Just like, Linda, I love you, and I'm sure we can put this behind us. I'm sure there are no ill feelings for me drugging you and putting you in the hospital, leaving you in a comatose state, while I flat out make out with this blonde hottie right in front of you. No hard feelings. And of course, Linda, she says, well, she reads, and I quote, "Vince, read my lips. I want a divorce." And of course, that's like Vince's worst fear, because now she's going to take him for all of his money and all of the company and everything like that. And I believe this was the one. He says, this happens like weeks later, but he comes back out and he says, "Linda, I know what you want." Like, I know what you say you want a divorce, but I can read you like a book. I know what you want. You're basically saying to me, without actually saying it, you want another child. Vince, I'm no expert on women, not by a long shot, but I'm pretty sure when a woman says I want a divorce, she's not saying she wants another child. I think that's the furthest thing from her mind. I believe saying I want a child is their way of saying I want a child. But I could be wrong. Like I said, I'm not an expert. But Vince says, like, you want a child, and damn it, I'm gonna be the one that gives it to you. He says, "Baby, I'm your genetic jackhammer." Okay. Uh, let's say I go out to a bar. Let's say first I'm single. Let's say I go to a bar and I see a woman that I'm attracted to, and I go up to her and I'm like, "Baby, I'm your genetic jackhammer." Yeah, that is that's about the worst line you could say to someone. Besides, let's screw, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, Vince. Vince is a genetic jackhammer. You know, his his grapefruits are ready. He just said all this weird shit too. He's like, you know, you want my seed. You want the McMahon seed inside of you, and I'm the guy to do it. I'm the genetic jackhammer. My testicles are ready. So this was all just a way to get Vince off of TV for a while. He would eventually come back, but still, nothing. Well, not nothing, but there's just something about Vince McMahon going out on TV saying that he is a genetic jackhammer, and he is going to plant his seed in his wife. No matter how long it takes, he's going to get her pregnant. She didn't get pregnant, but this whole storyline that I've just told you about is leading up to another story that I need to tell you about. I'll talk about that next time. This is going to be split into two parts, but I'll talk about that next time when Vince McMahon turns the WWE into Maury Povich. When the world is, well, maybe not the world, but at least some of us are just captivated with the love child of Vince McMahon. But I'll talk about that next time. So stay tuned for part 2 as we dive into the Vince McMahon love life. And we say, what the hell? What the fuck, actually. And just remember, guys, use that line on your women. Just look at them and say, I'm your genetic jackhammer. You just hit your pants up, put your hands on your hips, like, yeah, genetic jackhammer. So, I'll see you in part 2.